What is the future if you don't find an investor?
Oh, there's no future if we don't find an investor.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. So some Shadow news here for you. Not really surprising with what we've been hearing the past few days, but man, still really sucks and feels like a sad day for Shadow with what's going on. Now, I really hope they can turn things around. This isn't a Shadow is dead video, but it's a Shadow is in real trouble video, and they really are. And they're announcing all kinds of issues. Mostly it's financial, and they absolutely need an investor, meaning they don't have enough money to function with the subscriptions and whatnot that they have. So a new beginning for Shadow. Now I'm gonna show you a couple of clips from the Twitch stream earlier today, just confirming a couple of these things. But I'll also put a link in the description below for this blog post and for that Twitch stream, so you can go check it out, see the whole thing for yourself there. But it says, I'm not going to read this whole thing, but a couple little things here. Shadow's entering a new era. In the near future, we'll make a major strategic decision for our company, team, and development of our business that will change our course. And this having to do with looking for an investor to inject money and pretty much take over all the operations. Right here, this new stage requires a fresh new start. We will undergo a reorganization in order to free ourselves from the debt holding us back to continue the development of our bleeding edge technology. This investment process goes through the inevitable stage of collective proceedings in France and the United States, which will give us the best chance of achieving the dreams and ambitions we set out to accomplish since day one, meaning bankruptcy. And we'll hear about that here in just a second. Before I go over these questions, which I'm going to do just for you guys wondering what's going to happen with your Shadow accounts, let's take a look at this clip, a couple clips from their news stream, and then we'll jump back over here and read over these questions, get you those answers, and wrap up the video.
Despite our efforts, our attempts to raise money in a classic, straightforward fundraising haven't worked out. And so we are now essentially carrying out a fundraise in the end, although it's a fundraising of a particular type because it's going to be a bankruptcy proceeding type transaction. So we did file for Chapter 11 protection in the US and its equivalent in France to allow an outside investor to join, inject funds into the company, and take over the operations.
What is the future if you don't find an investor?
Oh, there's no future if we don't find an investor, but we are going to find one. So there's no doubt that we would have loved to find one ready to invest at $1 trillion valuation. The Chapter 11 proceeding means valuation is actually going to be zero. The good news is that at that valuation, we are extremely confident that we'll have an investor.
All right, guys, there you have it. Pretty much confirming what's going on with the bankruptcy and financial issues, and him confirming when asked by the community what would happen to Shadow if no one buys or invest. And he says there is no future without an investor. We need someone to invest, inject money, and take over all the day-to-day operations. So pretty much like buying them. So they are in real trouble, but he said he's very confident with the way things are that they'll be able to find an investor. So that's what we have to hope for if Shadow wants to be saved, that some company out there or someone's going to be interested enough to take this over, because Shadow is such a great experience for me and for many people. It's one of the best cloud PCs out there. Their software for streaming, forwarding USB devices, and so on is just really, really good. I know some of you haven't had a great experience with Shadow, but I have, and a lot of people have, and it's a daily driver for a lot of people. So it would be really sad to see it go. I really want to see it get where it needs to be. We need expansion, we need upgrades, and it has so much potential. So hopefully someone will recognize and get involved in this. So to wrap this up, let's take a look at some of these questions that you guys might have with all of this news. It says, I'm an active member. What will happen to my Shadow subscription? So your Shadow subscription remains fully functional as usual. You're going to have no impact to your service, at least for now, while things are happening. I have an active Shadow Boost subscription and a pre-order for Shadow Ultra or Shadow Infinite in Europe. What will happen? For now, pre-orders are maintained. The arrival of a new investor will allow us to have more clarity on the development plan. As a reminder, pre-ordering a Shadow Ultra or Shadow Infinite is free, and you can always cancel. This basically means they're not canceling your pre-orders, but they also can't fulfill them without someone investing money. So you're kind of stuck there. This is why, as much as I love Shadow, I'm going to continue to cover it here. I now have Ultra and Boost to test out. Ultra along with my Boost I've had the whole time, and I'll be doing more videos for Shadow, especially for the people who still are going to have Shadow. I'll continue to test games and do things with Shadow for now, but to tell someone new that doesn't have it to go sign up, I don't know that I can necessarily do that. What will happen to the planned release of Shadow Ultra and Shadow Infinite in California and New York? And for you guys that don't know already, my data center is New York. While we await a new ownership, see, that doesn't even say investor. While we await the new ownership, the release of these new configurations is put on hold for now, and I was supposed to get an Ultra upgrade for New York in June, and now that has pretty much been canceled. I pre-ordered Shadow Boost. Will I still be able to access it? Yes, nothing changes. You will be given access according to the date displayed on your account page, and they have more boost, and it was easier for them to get that hardware going. I pre-ordered Shadow Boost, but I would like to get reimbursed. Is it possible? Yes, absolutely. Cancel my pre-order, and I've never personally had trouble with them, anything with canceling, changing. I've heard that they're pretty good, but if you have any issues, you can always reach out to support and get that handled. Why didn't you communicate earlier about the delays regarding Shadow Ultra and Infinite in Europe? We had multiple options regarding the development of the company, but no certainty. We know more about Shadow's future now, and as soon as this ownership change is complete, we will be able to communicate more information regarding the future of these offers in Europe. What are the next steps of the investment process for Shadow? This process should take a few weeks. As soon as it's done, we'll communicate the details and the next step. So nobody knows. And without ownership, without someone basically buying and taking over everything in Shadow, communicating, telling us what's going to happen, we could also hear that Shadow doesn't find an investor and they are going to wind up shutting down. So it's just really, really hard to tell right now what's going to happen. And I'll definitely stay on top of this. Whatever comes out for Shadow, whether Shadow gets shut down, whether Shadow gets purchased by someone and proceeds, whatever the case, whatever winds up happening, we'll follow it here for sure, and we'll let you know. So thanks a lot for coming to watch, guys. I really appreciate it. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, thumbs up, ring the bell, leave me your comments down below. Let me know if you're still using Shadow. Let me know if this news affects you in any way. Were you planning on pre-ordering? Are you going to cancel your pre-order? Are you going to cancel your existing Shadow? Are you going to hang on, see what happens? I recommend if you're a current user, hang on, see what happens. If you haven't ordered yet, you might want to just hold off and see what happens with that. And if you have a pre-order, it's not costing you anything to leave it there, but do what you want with that. All right, guys, thanks again for coming to watch. I really appreciate it. I'll see you in the next one.